Chameli. I'm a research scholar from IIT Kharagpur. I'll be presenting on the topic roles of temple in preserving traditional ecological and medicinal knowledge. Basically, I'll start with what is traditional knowledge and these are the contents. Go to the introduction. The general meaning of traditional knowledge is that a knowledge that has been passed from generation to generation. In my paper, I will be talking about Sthala Vriksha, the temple tree, and the main questions which I will be dealing here is that how do temple act as a repository in preserving this traditional medicinal and ecological knowledge? And mine is a doctoral study. I will limited it to the temples of Tamil Nadu because the Sthala Vriksha you can find mostly in the Dravidian architecture. And go into the meaning of Sthala Vriksha. As per Sanskrit word, Sthala Vriksha means is the tree of the locality. Sthala means a place and Vriksha means a tree. So here the general meaning which they say is it is a natural tree that is found on the temple site before the construction of the temple. And it can be of different kinds such as shrub, climber, etc. And the base the main of the Sthala Vriksha is that it is considered as an abode of certain deities. And next, the historical significance if you want to talk about, we all know that nature worship is an ancient practice in our India. So we all people practice of natural worship and tree worship is one such form of a natural worship. And if you look into the evidences which were found about these trees, we can find from the Harappan civilization also where the excavation from the Khajuraho, we are finding the sculptures which feature the image of the tree and the deities. And the worshipping of tree is considered dharma as per our Hindu text. Next, going into the Hindu text which has dealt with the importance of the tree worshipping, we are like Rig Veda, Atharva Veda, Brahma Samhita, etc. But I will be dealing with few of the texts which I actually wanted to share. So going with the Rig Veda, the importance of tree, which in Rig Veda it states that is the tree symbolizes God and it has a healing properties. And it also states that by planting trees, one can lead a life happily for more than 1,000 years. And it also states that the plants and trees are considered homes for lots of, like animals, birds, etc. Birds and small insects and squirrels, etc. And it also states that no one should destruct the tree. The basic of the ancient text still destruction of trees are not allowed. And Atharva Veda basically deals with the medicinal knowledges. And it deals with, it says like banyan tree, laksha tree, badra tree, other trees are the medicinal value to cure the wounds. And varuna tree, it is used to cure the diseases which affects the body system. And it also speaks about people and banyan trees which are used to cure the waterborne diseases. And Atharva Veda also states about the herbs and trees are which helps to protect from pollution. And next is Vriksha Ayurveda. It is a text which basically deals with the preservation and production of seeds and plant trees. It also deals with the information about how the soil conservation is all based on the traditional knowledge and the traditional methods like conservation, planting, treatments of plants. And it also has stated that planting one tree is equal to 10 suns. And as per Vriksha Ayurveda, the aims of life such as dharma, artha, karma, moksha is attained by a person by planting a tree. And in Ramayana also we have like lots of evidences which speaks about the tree importance of tree. That is, in Ramayana the sacred trees are classified into two types such as Radha Vriksha, that is the roadside trees, and Devara Nishattara Vriksha, that is the abodes of deities which we call as sacred tree or Sthala Vrikshas. And these in Ramayana also they have classified the plants which has like medicinal value, they have sacred value and economically useful plants and which is used like from traditions. And the basic example from Ramayana is a Sanjeevani plant which is considered as a medicinal plant. And also other worshipping plants which is being as evidences are like tulsi, people, banyan and Indic gooseberries. And Manusmriti, we all know Manusmriti is a law. It speaks about the Hindu law. So in Manusmriti they are given some kind of punishments if they are people who destruct a tree will be punished with or damages to the tree. There are some punishments like fine imposed on those who cause like injuries to the trees. You can find like another. No, it will be on back. Manusmriti, it deals with the legal laws which gives a punishment. So it has stated that if people restrict a tree or it considered like damage to the tree or nature, they will be impose a fine, or who causes injuries, it will be like fine Krishnadas and all. And basically in this text what we understand is, from the ancient text is that the importance of the tree which has been told from the ancient period. Not only just we have started the practice, it was from the ancient days. Now why temple? Why I am insisting that temple's role in preserving all this? Because temple architecture, we all know, it is based on the principles of like rules of Shilpa Shastras, Agamas and Vastu Shastras. But when you look into the plan of the temple, we can easily find out the mandatory of the water and the trees inside the temple. So the tree we can basically find as a side plan in the temple. So tree plays an important role in the temple architecture. And mostly like we have like Garbhagriha, Mandavas, Gopuras, Sritas, tree also plays an important role in the temple architecture. And mostly these Sthala Vriksha trees, it is like as per the Sthala Purana, we say the stories of the temple, it says that the temple has been built based on the trees found there. Or we can, some stories of the temple say that deities have been found under the tree and the names and the places of the temple have been given based on the Sthala Vriksha plants of the trees. And some example, these are the known common species of Sthala Vrikshas are like the Maple tree, Tulasi tree, Ashoka, Banyan and neem trees are the very commonly known Sthala Vriksha. And I will be dealing with some examples of Sthala Vriksha and Sthala Purana, then why the name of this temple and what is the main story behind it. And examples are like the Jambugeshwara temple of Trichy. It is known as like Jambugeshwara because the main Sthala Vriksha plant over is Jambu tree. So why the name Jambugeshwara is kept? Because they say that the temple was built on the place where the Jambu tree was present. So it is in the forest of Jambu. Next is Kanchipuram Ekambareshwara temple. It's a mango tree. Most of you would have visited the Kanchipuram temple and you would have known the speciality of this tree also. It is known as Ekambaram because the meaning of the Ekambaram is like single mango tree. But in this tree, the speciality is that it has like 4 different kinds of mangoes. It has 4 different tastes and the branches are of 4 different kinds. And these branches is like it depicts or it resembles 4 Vedas. And next is a Vairishwaran Koil temple, Kumbakonam, the neem tree. And the speciality of this temple is that people believe we have any sort of health illness or something, we go visit this temple or do some pujas over there, we get, our illness will be cured. So the main Sthala Vriksha over here is a neem tree. And the Sthala Purana, the story of the temple states that the main deity Linga, the Shivalinga was found under the neem tree. That's why the name is known as the Vairishwaran Koil, whereas Sthala Vriksha of this temple is the temple tree is the neem tree. Next is a Chidambaram tree, that is Thillai Nadar, where the temple was built in the forest of Thillai tree. And here the tree is worshipped in the form of a sculpture form because the natural tree is not present, so it is worshipped in the form of a sculpted Vriksha. And Meenakshi Amman temple, it is a Kadamba tree because again the temple is built in between the forest of Kadamba forest. And the next one is the Tiruvanangadu temple, it is a banyan tree. So the name Tiruvanangadu means a banyan tree over there. So hence it is built in the place where lots of banyan trees are grown in between. So it is known as like Tiruvanangadu temple. And when we look into the initiatives taken by temple at present to preserve our biodiversity, things like the plants or the trees, they have come up with the temple gardens. Already we have the Sthala Vriksha, but still there are some initiatives taken like temple garden where they plant the plants which have very good medicinal values. And they are come up with all this like Nakshatra garden, like stars based on 27 plants it resembles, and Navagraha garden where 9 plants which have the medicinal value which resembles about the deities and they based on the we say for these gods we give tulasi for ornament, it's like that. So out there they brought in the 9 plants. And the government initiative in Tamil Nadu also they have taken stating that this scheme where they call it as Talamarakattugal Nadantittam. That is each temple they should plant at least 10 or trees in each plant. That was the scheme which was brought in recently. And when looking into the literatures from the other scholars who have done a study on it, we found that most of the Sthala Vriksha temples They are found like while doing a research in 1,165 temples, 820 temples they found the celebration was there, and they also found that like 112 species of was identified, which are the medicinal values and which were used for like cold, fever, etc. And this celebration is like it is considered as an in situ conservation, and also the trees inside the temple are like mostly protected. And when you look into the community practices of belief, you all know when the temple trees are inside the temple, we have the belief that they are sacred, so the people are not able to cause any injury to the trees. We don't cut the trees, we don't cut flowers or something from the temple tree, and people have the belief that like we see like tying the ties or the cradles, everything, they think it brings a good health, fertility, auspicious events to the people's life. And also we don't wear our slippers to the inside the temple, and also the women, if they are periods, are supposed to go near the trees. These are the beliefs, but at the same time they are taken this forms of belief to protect the to protect the nature. And actually what I've done in this is that basically my idea is to tell you that how our temple is considered or how it has been preserved our biodiversity, because nowadays we are speaking about lots of environmental pollution issues and etc. But now I can give you a solution that these are examples how our temple trees have been protected, and most of the findings are also saying that from IUCN list most of the species have been extinct and they are being in the threatened species. So here the temple plays as an example where these trees or the species have been preserved for the future generation. So my suggestion would be like community engagement, where the community people to engage and preserve these plants. And next will be like we all have heard about lots of misappropriation, like you all have come about like neem case, turmeric case, where our own Indian knowledge has been patented by other countries. So we have like Biodiversity Act, where we have some brought some of the conclusion, like coming up with the people's biodiversity register. That is like if we have the celebration temples and we know what kind of species are there, we have the locality of those temples, they will have a PD register. So we have to go and register in that these plants will have such and such value of medicinal plants. So this helps in from misappropriation, that the other countries they cannot take it into for any other patenting, or it is how we preserve our knowledge here. And also next is like if we have traditional knowledge digital library, where again another course where all our traditional knowledge, medicinal knowledge plants and leaves have been protected by the. So these plants which are there, medicinal knowledge can be included in DKDL registry. And next is like we have an Indian parental classification system, where it is found as a prayer art, where other countries they can do a prayer art whether already this knowledge has been present, so that they can't bring any new medicines into all these things. So again these temple and these species can be listed under the IPC classification as a separate celebration temple, because they are temple trees. And for preservation for the future generation, we can go into an ex situ preservation, as for the seed banking and the gene preservation of the species of the trees whichever it is. And these sites can also be considered as a biological heritage site as per the Biodiversity Act. And to conclude, we know that celebration temples are the values and they preserve the ecology, and temples also here the temple plays a major role in preserving it. And any other new regulations or policies also can be brought in to protect all this environmental biodiversity issues. And for the preservation and for the conservation part, like Ayurveda, Ayurveda, where they have given the traditional basis how to protect the plants, what treatments can be done, so those can